How's it going, everyone? I'm Dominic Minchella, the Kansas City Chiefs on SI beat writer and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. Today, we are going to cover the 3 things to watch at the upcoming Kansas City Chiefs mandatory minicamp. Yes, exactly what it means. Mandatory. Your favorite players are going to have to be there, whether they want to or they don't want to. And you know that itch that we all get and the things that we love? This is the type of time that these players are like, "You know what? I haven't played football in a little bit." While they might have been taking the time off to spend the offseason with their families, this is a time to get back into the facility with the boys, playing some football, and I'm excited to keep on covering it for you. Here are some things to know before we get started. It will take place from June 17th to June 19th. There's also indications from the NFL Players Association. You have a physical on Monday, practices on Tuesday and Thursday. You get off on Friday. 2 practices totaling 3.5 hours on the field, so nothing can exceed that. There's also the second practice is limited to walkthrough procedures only. Now that the housekeeping is kind of out of the way, let's dive into the 3 things that the Chiefs Kingdom, you guys, or the rest of the NFL world should be paying attention to come the Kansas City Chiefs mandatory minicamp. Let's start off with a pretty obvious one. And that's going to be Travis Kelce. As we know, sorry, my pen's flying all over the place. As we know, Travis Kelce is on the final year of his contract. There was rumors earlier this offseason coming off arguably the worst of his career, the worst season of his career. Not only did he see another year of decreased stats, but there's also speculation to like, oh, maybe he's just too old. Maybe he's not good enough. There was speculation that maybe Travis Kelce was under the weather come the Super Bowl, and that's why he didn't perform as well. All of that is in the past now. Travis Kelce will be there at mandatory minicamp, and it's going to be exciting to see what he does because this is a time for him to prove, and you know that there's going to be videos recording him, interviews. Can't wait to talk to Travis. But there's going to be a ton riding on the minicamp because whether you like it or not, this is the time where it's like where the franchise kind of knows what they have to deal with roster wise, coaching wise, what areas have the most depth, what areas need extra depth, which players stand out, which don't. Travis Kelce is in a position to where, him as a veteran, he doesn't necessarily need to prove himself anymore. But in a term of it being his final season, he is now again auditioning in hopes that he can stay with Kansas City should he come back the next following year. It's important to watch him, especially because there was comments earlier this offseason about his weight, about the age being an issue. Maybe if he's going to be able to quiet down all those comments and claims and hope that he can get back to the Travis Kelce way that we know. While it's not probable that he's going to be at the peak of his career once again, I think that there's a prime opportunity that there's enough fire lit underneath him to where he can return to form. He's going to be a player to watch. And I'll give you guys updates as often as I can surrounding Travis Kelce. Number 2, the running back room. We've touched on this room several times on the podcast, and I will touch on it again because it is that much. It needs to be discussed. It is a room with inconsistency, but consistency. You've got a few returning players. Kareem Hunt, he's coming back. Isaiah Pacheco, he's hoping that he can stay healthy for a full season. Elijah Mitchell is looking to be the veteran presence in that room in hopes that he is able to help out in the scheme. Didn't play last season. He's also searching for a spot himself. That's a guy that to keep an eye on. He's not only fighting for a roster spot, but he's looking to have a big role. This is a make or break year for him, as well as the newly drafted Brashard Smith. That's going to be a real interesting guy to keep an eye on in the running back game going forward, especially at minicamp. How many touches has he get? Is his route running good? Is there, there's blaring flaws in his game that need to be fixed well before the beginning of the season? Are there limited risks that these guys have to worry about? Coaching staff, that is Isaiah Pacheco gonna be able to return to form? Has the muscle that he put on, being Isaiah Pacheco, the muscle that he put on, is that gonna be able to benefit him in the way that we think it will? Does Kareem Hunt still have the leg strength underneath him to keep going for another season? He's also auditioning for a role in the future, whether it's with Kansas City or with it's not. There's a lot of depth in the running back room, excuse me, to where it's a competition. It's been a competition, and it will continue to be so until they finally, give a finalized, "This is our 1 guy, our 2 guy, our 3 guy," and there's a world where all of them make the roster, but some get used on kick returns or just like a depth piece off the bench, but there's an opportunity for all of them to fight for this. How well they're gonna hand off how well are they doing with handoffs, etcetera, etcetera. The Chiefs running back game needs to be slightly more improved than what we saw last season, given that there was a lack thereof. And we haven't seen a running back touch over 1,000 rushing yards in a long time. Maybe this is the year. If they want to be as explosive on offense that Andy Reid is talking about, it's going to have to be in the air and on the ground. And the running back room is going to have to pick up their end of the stick, knowing that Patrick Mahomes is going to take good care of the passing game. And then finally, rookies. As we know, 7 new draftees coming in, as well as a slew of undrafted free agents. Them themselves being undrafted free agents, they're going to try their best to stand out. They're going to mesh as well as they can with the guys that are for sure making the roster, as well as the new rookies. Omar Norman Lott, how he's going to perform on the defensive line, how Josh Simmons is going to progress in his injury. Does Jalen Moore take a step forward while Simmons takes a step back? That's a big, big, big topic to watch because there's already been that speculation already. Is Simmons going to start on the bench if he's unhealthy? And is Moore going to start being the veteran just to get out of the gates running? There's also the likes of Jalen Royals. How well is he going to continue his success from the offseason? We've already seen a lot of heads turn towards Jalen Royals. He's been doing the best that he can, and I'm excited to continue to see him play. Jeffrey Bassa, he's another guy that is looking to, be a strong contributor. Is he going to be able to mesh well in the linebacker room? He's got extra depth coming from a different position in college. Are they going to utilize him that way? The likes of Ashton Gelati, his explosiveness, yeah, we've seen it through OTAs already, but how is it going to carry over into mandatory minicamp? Is all the success in the him being a protege, so to quote unquote protege to George Karlaftis, is that going to aid him or is that going to hold him back? There's going to be a lot of expectations on the rookies up and down from the first round all the way to the 7th round. Throw Brashard Smith in there as well. He's likely to get snaps as at running back and own that craft, as well as get ready for punt returns. As we know, his speed is going to be an asset. There's a ton of things to pay attention to at mandatory minicamp. And while we're not necessarily there to training camp, which is down the line, this is kind of the stepping stones. You're building your roster into the strength that you need to get ready for the first week of the season. Because sooner before you know it, it's going to be here. That being said, guys, check out the ticker down below. You can follow me over at X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. I love seeing all of the positive reinforcements on X and the positive feedback. I'm excited to continue covering the offseason for you guys, as well as you can check us out over at KC Chiefs on SI. We post every single story there, the talented group that we have. As always, Chiefs Kingdom, be kind to one another. And I will see you tomorrow.